Alikuletea piece ya mashujaa. And juzi he had a birthday. Akatuambia venye mama alishia. Sad though, he is one of the best spoken word poets in Kenya, a songwriter, a humble soul, and a powerful performer. He addresses issues as they are in his poetry, be it political or social. Acha tumsikize next on the blog.
Wakikam na mapunch, mina kam na mapunchlines. Kani mateke, maneno limiango ni sharp zaidi ya sword ishomitsu kwa teke. Na ukikam na mapunch, mina kam na mapunchlines. Hata full scope bundle mzima itoshi. Dorphan kuna match lines. Na kwa hizi lines na document live kwa hizi mitaa day by day. Suffice to say I'm here to stay. Usingoje kwangu kusikia words kama nimekam tena. Lishajua mwanaume siku bonga na bass, ndio maana times utanipata nikiimba na tena. Hata wewe jamaa wa digital migration atakushow bado news upati kama hujashika tena. Pia wahenga walishanena mambo kangajo kwenda yakaja, atafuta kula aja uja. So nikicheki mto ni obvious natarajia daraja. Haisaidii kuniangalia vibaya nani kama wendo ulichagua nyama ya paja. Streets ni war zone, si ni masoja. Mimi jisikia niko kwa manuari ndani nikidandia matatu koja. Na kuna wengi hapa hawajaifanya kazi kwa matatu, lakini bado najidai number 1 class register bado inanishow mwanafunzi moja. Wengine wanajidai na heights na hii ni siso. Kama wendo uko juicy basi unajua nani mzito. Most of the times hautanipata nimefurahi kuze yet to achieve your dream ya dead and Kimathi na Stephen Biko. Na wasabai nikidai haki wanadai kuniwasha wani smoke kama mimi ni kiko. Si funny wakituchekesha na kutupatia amani, tutakia amani. Raundi ugali taipogea tutaipika kwa vijiti atupigania mwiko. Lazima si fani wakituchekesha na kutupatia amani, tutakia amani. Raundi kito taipogea kwa vidole atupiganie vijiko. So wakikam na mapunch, mimi nakam na mapunchlines na kani mateke. Wewe waambie maneno limiako ni sharp zaidi ya sword ishomitsu kwa teke. Wakikam na mapunch na wapea tu mapunchlines. Alafu wakitaka kujua zaidi mwambie kuja kwangu. Tutoe jamaa wa kikombano zongozi na mistari anajua. I would like to think of myself as a revolutionary soul. Those are 2 words, right? My given name is Dennis Mutua. Mutua is my father's name. A lot of people think I'm Kamba because of that, but it's a shared name. We have Mutua in Meru as well, so yep. Fun fact. I lived with my mom until I was like 5 years old, and then she passed me on to my dad's side of the family. Because my dad was not settled, I was taken on by my grandparents, my paternal grandparents. So I grew up with my cousins. Yeah, and life was pretty good, you know, growing up in a village. You know, we ate berries. We took care of my grandfather's livestock. We went to hunt. We got in trouble, you know, hunting. I remember this one time we went to hunt, and then so we went with my grandfather's dogs. And when we went to hunt, you know, there was like maize then, and then so we went to hunt, and there was someone's goats grazing inside the maize stalks, and one of the dogs bit one of the goats. And that news got home, and that's the one and only time my grandfather ever beat me, you know, and it was deservedly so. So we all knew we were in trouble. We all knew something was coming, and it came. I really don't think I can pin it down to one particular style, you know. Because in terms of style, I don't think I follow any particular style. What I do is some pieces are stories. Some pieces are, you know, rhymes. You know, they're based on, you know, I try to carry the whatever I'm talking about with rhyme and you know, in different different like styles basically. So but mostly sometimes you take me as a storyteller. Other people will say I'm a, I'm a, I'm a political poet, but I don't like to kind of restrict myself to that. I don't know, I don't really mind what people claim I am, but for me I'm just an artist. I'm just trying to express myself in the best way I can, and depending on how it comes, like how the inspiration comes for each particular piece. mm, not not exactly. I wouldn't say I've had like an embarrassing moment. What I've had is moments where I strained or struggled. Probably I think that the most difficult stages I've been in are clubs. Are clubs, because I think most of the people who go to clubs here, you know, don't they don't, for them they're not wired for poetry basically. So um and I think the worst feeling for me is being on stage and wishing that I will, wishing, for the time I'll get done with that performance, it's just step off stage. I I enjoy performing, and I hate to be in that position where I have to feel that, I need to get off this stage. You know, most of the times I would just love to go on and on and on, but when I feel like that, that's pretty, bad for me. So I wouldn't really call it embarrassing. Probably most, hard experiences of art performing. Probably when I was in form one and two. I don't know how I don't know how I did form one and two like in school. I don't know how I survived it. I just know I was a rolling stone. I just rolled my way from form one to, I did a lot of things, out of anger and out of a carefree attitude that I had gotten, because I think at that point I had stumbled upon so many facts about my life that I didn't like, and by that time all my parents had already passed away. So I was feeling that my life would have been a certain way if it weren't for their mistakes, if they were still there, if I had two parents and and a well close knit family like most kids. So I felt like, so I was angry and I was blaming people for that. So I just and I got carefree and started doing things that weren't necessarily my kind of things to do, but just for the heck of it. I didn't care much then, and it got me in trouble in school. So I had to change schools at some point. But I think that's probably one of the best things that happened to me, because then that was my U-turn. That was my moment of realization, my moment of truth. Where I realized that I was messing my life up and blaming other people for it. The problem, my parents made the mistakes, but if I continue playing along that script, then I'm pretty much replaying the same script, of heading down the same direction. So I at that point I had to make a decision. And so when I changed schools, I decided I'm gonna take charge of my life, and I'm gonna take responsibility of all the decisions I get to make from that point on. And from that point on, anything I've done it. The priority has always been, what do I feel? What is true to me? Am I being true to myself? Like, so anything I've done from that point has always been that this is what I feel is right for me, right? I have declined opportunities, that would probably place me better off in, in quote unquote, you know, success standards, because I felt like they weren't my kind of thing to do, right? And I don't regret that. So I feel like for me, I'm good. I'm good with the choices I've made, and I hope I don't. I hope I don't get to do anything I can regret. At the end of the day, we all humans. I acknowledge the fact that nobody's perfect. I acknowledge the fact that we don't know what comes the next minute, but it's really about making the best of the moment and really being aware of self. Because the more aware of self you become, the more aware of the environment and people around you you get, and then and means the choices you make also, you make choices thinking it through, within that ecosystem you live in, for the best of everybody. So yeah, I don't regret anything really. uh mm. I don't think I have one particular thing I want to do. I just, for me, I just want to leave a mark, that is uniquely mine. I want, when it's all said and done, for the people who know me or who will have known me by then, they can look and say, that that was Dorphan. That was Dorphan. That I never was. I wasn't a cliche, right? I wasn't a cliche. I want when people look back and or reflect on my life, they can say that that story. This is Dorphan's story, and just Dorphan's story. Like there's no other story like it. It's just this story. That's so for me. It's just, and I think by that mark, I understand also that how you get to live on really is not by what you do for yourself, but what you do for others, right? So because you live on in the memory of others, like in the memories you leave behind, so if the only memories you made were important only to you, then those memories will die with you. But if the memories you leave behind are memories that are held in other people's minds, then those people will talk about you. Those people will pass on your story. Those people will share your story with their kids, and their kids will share their stories with their kids, and that's how we live on, right? So I think for me, that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to leave something behind, something worth, you know, being talked about, something worth, um, changing someone's life, or improving on someone's welfare. It's all I'm trying to do. I, as far as Dorphan as an artist or as a person is concerned, um, you know, this is just a this is just a shell. Like someone said, the body ni just a transport ya soul yangu, unajua. So hii inabeba tu hii soul yani. So whatever is left behind, that's what counts. I don't have an album yet. It's something I'm working on though. So hopefully before the end of 2020, there's gonna be an album out. Because I've been recording. And I don't really have a favorite piece, because for me each particular piece is an experience in itself. I know what was special when I wrote it, you know, and it's special because I wrote it. So of course, with each new piece it's always a favorite, at that particular time. There's a piece called Mkenya, and someone was like, "Hey man, that's my favorite piece of yours." And then there was he poetry, and someone was like, "Hey, that's my favorite." And then there was Mama Alicia, which actually the video is out right now. Hope you guys are going to play it. And then for all the people, please, go watch Mama Alicia and share it widely. I would love to think that it's not just my story, but it's our story. So if and I think we need to talk more about our stories. We need to share our stories more. For each one of my pieces, I hope that people can look at it as an independent entity in itself. Like people can try to see what is happening in that. So I don't know what name I would give my child. Because it depends. I think context matters for me. Like, and that context is in terms of the time they get born, the experiences that have led to them being born. But most importantly, what I know though is that there would have to be African names, right? I'm trying not to assume that it's just gonna be my decision to make, because a baby is made by two people, and so of course it's gonna be consultation with the other party. I would just love to say that as a people, we really need to take charge of our lives. As a people, we really need to, I think we really need to limit our affinity for pain and our affinity for disappointment. If you want to find some of my work, or you want to engage with me, Facebook, I am Dorphan, poetically speaking. Twitter and Instagram, I am Dorphan_age, and YouTube, it's Dorphanage block without a K. And there's quite a number of videos on YouTube. There's a lot of poetry shared and thoughts on my socials.
Majaliwa, in a few years ndakuwa na explore my 30s. Waambia tunataka growth na progress mali tuna dwell. Iko so 1930s wakianza kubagua faces ki STL. Maneno toka kwa kitusiwa. Hatuwezi afford tena kuona race mzima ikibaguliwa after mayai ya kuoza kutumiwa. Chambua maono ya Ali Mazurui. Ndalalaje unono kaa hero wangu ameshtakiwa kwa Rui akasulubiwa. Just a few but to mention: General Baimungi, Dedan Kimathi, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Stephen Biko, Ken Saro-Wiwa. Mama Wangari alijua safety ni kutunza environment, si kujenga shades na kuvaa helmet. Tumereduce maana ya heroes wetu to statues na street names na unatuko helmet. So mi uingia jukwani nikidance kifudu, ushangilia mekatililiwa menza. Juendo ule mwanamke aliturn tables hata kabla kuwe na DJ units na production stables. Too bad tumesahau metamorphosis ilianza mishipa zikibleed ndio kupatikane shamba ya kupanda hizi seed. So nikidai mikono zipangwe, anza kuleta shangwe na usikazie makofi ya kilo. Una idea juu ya volume ya machozi nimetrain kwa pilo. Maisha yangu fupi nimeona mengi marefu, kwa style yangu fupi ya nywele nimeona mengi mandevu. Jumuiya ndogo mambo kibao, mengine natabasamu nikikumbuka, mengine na wish forever kusahau. Mengine yakawa, mengine wonders kama kaburi za Farao. Mengine achievements, mengine blunders, majasiri kuonyesha madharau. No wonder kiangazi machungu yao, mafuriko machozi ya maumau. Hakuna nuru after walishapigana uhuru, Afrika taa ilishazimwa. Wajukuu wao bado ni watumwa, ilo kunukuu sisahau. No wonder wengine wetu kupata chakula ni kuchakura maganda kwa takataka. Juu wenye mamlaka wana fist wazote wabakishi, zikibaki labda mbichi wananchi wanadishi mawishes. Nikawa kusomeshwa maandishi imeandikwa na choka ya white, kwa imepakwa rangi ya white. Siri za giza na nango za white, prophecies za doom toka vichwa bright. za giza na nguo za white, prophecies za doom toka vichwa bright. System ni ya majambazi, maskini kufa kwa kiangazi, na dini ndo saa kazi. Biashara kung'ara na waumini kwa madhabahu, prayer kwa zende bahasha na madao. Mse msoto kupata haki nikakulenga kiroboto na mkuki. Kakulipua babu kwa mdomo ki-expect mse wa Iraq ajitoe nduki. Kakulipua babu kwa mdomo ki-expect mtu wa Somalia ajitoe nduki. Tafsiri hii ni wakati tujue maana ya nyeusi, nyekundu, kijani na nyeupe ya amani kwa bendera. Raia ikishageuka desperado ki Antonio Banderas. Nipe biko we baki na Mandela. Dada imekatililiwa meza kwa meza. Escapism ishakwa ndio the only route tunajua, like the back of our hands. Basi elewa mbona truth ni bitter pill na ni ngumu kwa sisi kuimeza. Kimadhi ni wia radhi, bado naishi kwa magoti. Kimadhi ni wia radhi, juu ya woga hata kama wanadai mimi ni mnoti. Kimadhi ni wia radhi, bado nalamba miguu ndo ni dishi ndo nipate noti. And what if niko all over the world, niko all over the world, lakini nanivunja moyo nikiwaza kala mashaka. Na bila shaka ni matata na mashaka, nikitafakari ombi la taifa. Wapi raha tunapata, wapi na ustawi, wapi maji, wapi chakula, wapi kawi, wapi na umoja? Kwani hatuwezi piga kura kama tujigawi? Malipo bora, maisha bora, otherwise kesho siwezi shtuka kupata madaktari kwa streets wakidemonstrate na matawi. Wajukuu wa Johnny Boy wananipulizia vumbi na magari. The Don Tabs ni wana wa matigari. And they tell me we live in a diplomatic land. Then they tell me there's a Mashujaa day. But what do the Mashujaa say? You might as well go and ask the landless, toothless, freedom veteran, Mr. Lawi.